my offer's no good. My guy told me I was pre-qualified. Dude, I would not want to be that guy. What's everyone? It's Mike at NewFed. Today we're going to be talking about a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval. What are they? What are the differences? And when you should use one versus the other. Let's roll.
Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
Yeah.
And to all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So what is a pre-approval versus a pre-qualification? You know, in my line of work, I get to help a lot of families, a lot of people get into buying homes in real estate transactions and things like that. And it's very, very rewarding for me. But what I've discovered about myself is that I really, really enjoy kind of being like that trusted advisor that people go to for help. And I really like sharing information that I've learned along the way in hopes that I can help someone. I wish 20-something years ago when I bought my first house, I had something like a YouTube channel so that I could get advice, because I had absolutely no clue of what the hell I was doing. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I know there's going to be some mistakes along the way. I'm going to fumble and bumble my way through some stuff. You're going to hear a ton of ums and knows and things like that. But that's okay. It's only when you get outside of your comfort zone that you really grow. So you guys can help me do that by, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I guess that drives the YouTube algorithm so that more content like this can be seen by more people. So thank you. That would really help me out. And also feel free to leave a comment too. I don't care what it is. It can be great job, Mike. Mike, you suck. You say too much. Like I don't know that already. See? But any comments, feedback, anything like that is only going to help me get better. So I super appreciate that, and thank you in advance. Okay, so pre-qual versus a pre-approval. Let's get into it. What is a pre-qualification good for, and who might use it? So that's ideal for someone who's just beginning the process. They're thinking about buying a home. They're kicking the tires. They're not really sure, but they kind of want to get an idea of where they stand financially with regards to how much house they can afford. Generally, you can do this online. It's very quick. They might ask you to fill out 10 to 15 questions. And based on those answers, they'll generate a form or a letter for you that you can take with you when you go looking for houses, right? Or you can even go to a local bank, which is something I did with my first house 20-something years ago, simply because I didn't know any better. And it's generally like a 10, 15-minute conversation, really, and it would go probably something like this. So let's take our buddy Tony from the beginning of here, right? Hey Tony, nice to meet you. So I hear you're looking for a house. What kind of house do you want to buy? I'm looking for a single family. Awesome. What kind of money do you have for a down payment? I've got $22,000 in a savings account. Perfect. What do you do for work, Tony? I'm a sanitation engineer. Of course you are. How much do you make, Tony? I make about $75,000 a year. Okay, cool. What kind of debts do you have? Let's see. I got a student loan that's about $400 a month. Car payment. Actually, that would be a car payment. My car payment's $400 a month. I got student loans are about $172 a month, and I got a credit card which averages about $85, $90 a month. Okay, cool. What's your credit score look like? It's pretty good. It's probably about a 720. All right. And basically, that's the conversation. They may not even run your credit. Okay. So they're going to say, well, based on the numbers you gave me, it looks like you're pre-qualified up to $540,000 with 5% down. And I'll print you out a letter. You can bring it with you when you go looking at houses, and you think you're good to go, right? Well, no, not exactly, right? Because let's say Tony makes an offer on a house, and then we actually go to do his loan, and we find out, well, the $75,000 he made last year, 15 of that was in overtime. And guess what? He's not getting that overtime anymore, right? And he's got $140,000 in a savings account that he can't account for because he's been whacking Goombas down in the docks. So we can't even use that, right? So in this instance, mi casa is not su casa. The prequal is no bueno, right? If it can't be verified, it's no bueno. Not to say prequals are bad. They're going to give you a base idea of what you qualify for and how much you can afford. But that's pretty much it. If you're a serious buyer, you really need to go the pre-approval. So now let's move on to the pre-approval. So you call me up, you say, hey Mike, I'm thinking about buying a house, I need to get pre-approved. I say, great. We're not going to just talk about a loan though. All right, I'm not just going to talk to you about what your rate could be, what your down payment could be, all that stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about a mortgage strategy that's best for you and your family. I'm going to provide you with, total costs, options, how much cash you need to bring to closing, all of that good stuff. So how do we get there? Well, essentially, we're going to do a full loan application. But it's important to note, and I don't want anybody freaking out here about the term loan application, okay? Because we haven't specified or identified a specific property, it doesn't trigger any disclosures. It doesn't lock you into anything. You're not committed to anything at this time. We're going to go through everything soups to nuts, and I'm going to gather information like I'm going to verify your residency, where you've been living for the past 2 years. I'm going to verify your employment and your employment history. Have you owned a home before? If so, how long? Do you own any other properties? How much money do you make? We're going to verify your salary, right? Are you salaried? Are you hourly? Do you get overtime? Do you have other sources of income that I need to know about? Rental income, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to talk about if you've had any bankruptcies or foreclosures. And like I said earlier, if I can't verify this stuff, it's not any good to us. So I'm also going to ask you to send me a bunch of supporting documentation. So I'm going to ask for your 2 most recent pay stubs, photo ID, your tax returns, W-2s or your self-employed 1099s, 2 months of bank statements. And I know this sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Again, we're trying to be as thorough as possible. And it's always, always, always better to take a little bit more time up front, do all the heavy lifting, so we're not dealing with headaches and tears at the end, right? One of my favorite quotes, it's by Paul Rosenberg. He's the CEO of Def Jam Records. And he says, if it's not fucking right, it doesn't leave the fucking building. And that's how I look at it. It's worth the time to do it right. We pull all this stuff together, and then we're going to go ahead and pull your credit. And here's a quick little aside. It's important to note that your credit score is not the single most determining factor here. Obviously you don't want to have a credit score of 420 or anything terrible like that. But what is more important is, and what we're looking for when it comes to the underwriting process, is we're looking for an established history of credit with consistent on-time payments. Okay, so let me give you a quick example. So let's say somebody with a credit score of 740 with 1 credit card that's only been open for 2 months and a balance of $34, that person is not going to factor in as well as somebody who may have a credit score of let's say 640, but they have 10 to 15 years of credit history with consistent on-time payments over that course of time. That weighs much, much, much more heavily in terms of rendering a decision than the actual number itself. It's all about demonstrating your willingness and ability to repay. So you and I gather all this information, I put it all together, and I'm going to run it through our automated desktop underwriting system. We'll get an approved eligible, and now you'll know exactly what you're going to qualify for. And that is a pre-approval. Now you know with complete confidence that I can get a loan done for you. So remember when I talked about mortgage strategy? So here's, depending on what you and I talked about on what's most important to you, we're going to look at other options too, right? We may look at what does a house cost at 525? Or maybe you want to stretch a little bit and you find something you really love and it's $600,000. We're going to look at, can you get there? If so, how do we get there? Right? Say you're not comfortable with a monthly payment of more than $2,000. We're going to look at a strategy of how we can keep that monthly payment there so we can get you into something that you're going to be happy with. You know, do you want a 30-year term, a 20-year term, a 15-year term? So all of these things are options I'm going to provide to you that you just simply don't get with a pre-qualification. So now you know what you can and can't afford, and you can go out and shop with confidence. You're not wasting you or your realtor's time looking at houses you can't afford. You can go ahead and submit offers. And with a pre-approval letter, especially if it's from me, they're going to know that's a rock-solid pre-approval. And that's something that can be done. It's not always about the highest offer. The highest offer always doesn't win. The name of the game here is the ability to close, right? If you've got a house at $600,000 and someone offers $660,000, but they can't get the deal done, it doesn't matter. Right? That same house, if you offer $585,000, but you can get the deal done and you're locked in and you're pre-qualified, pre-approved, you're probably going to get the house. It's that simple. Okay, so there you go. Pre-approval, very, very, very good. Pre-qualification, right? Again, I'm not saying that pre-qualifications are bad. They definitely do have their purpose. But if you're serious in this housing market, the pre-approval is the way you want to go. All right, there we go. So we made it through. Hope you guys found this informative, useful, maybe had a couple laughs along the way. I know I did. I'm going to make a bloopers reel someday. That should be pretty good. Probably a lot of F-bombs in that one. But all joking aside, if you guys are just starting to buy a house or you want to learn more about the home buying process, check the link down below. You can download my Ultimate Home Buyer Success Kit for free. It's got a ton of information in there for you. Things to avoid, how to square away your finances. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It's really, really helpful if you're in that process. You know, in my line of work, I deal a lot with assets, finances, huge financial decisions. And what I've come to realize is, you know, truth be told, our most valuable asset is time. There's no refunds, no rain checks, no guarantees, right? Once it's gone, it's gone. So, you know, take care of each other, love each other, make the most of every single day. All right? So till next time, be good.